Yes, that is the look of surprise you'll have if you get Smothers mated, or even if you're waiting for someone to fall into your Smothers mate. We are at number 16 on the list of the top 30 checkmates of all time. And this one is one that you'll probably get to do in your chess career many times. It's not a particular game, it's a whole lot of types of games where you get a mate where you smother the king, called the Smothers mate. So let's take a look. In chess, a Smothers mate is a checkmate delivered by a knight in which the mated king is unable to move because it is completely surrounded or smothered by its own pieces, which a knight can jump over. So take a look at that knight checking the king, and the king can't move anywhere because of its own pieces. Here's another one. The knight here is checking the king on h1, and the king is blocked in by both of his rooks and his pawn. And another one. The black knight's checking the king, and the king can't move anywhere, smothered by his own pieces. Now, there's many more complicated smothers made, but let's take a look at something on our main board here. So this is a game I've seen before. I can't remember who played it, but white starts out with the Queen's Gambit, and black plays the Budapest Gambit. White takes the pawn, black plays knight to g4, aiming to take the pawn back. White plays knight f3 to guard it. Black doesn't want to take this, of course, because the knight's guarding, but black double pressures on the pawn. White says, I'll double pressure also, guarding the pawn. Now black could play bishop to c5, double pressuring on f2, but in this game he played bishop to b4 check, knight to d2, and then black plays queen e7. Now notice how black is directly aiming at the e pawn and indirectly aiming at the white king. So after that, white says, I'm just going to threaten the bishop. And black kind of ignores it. He plays knight takes e5. He's got that knight well enough protected, but he's letting the bishop get taken. Why? Well, it has to do with the indirect pressure. If pawn takes bishop, can you guys find the winning move here for black? It's a Smothers mate. That's your hint. Stop the video if you need to. Okay, if you said knight takes f3, you are not correct. That would just be a trade. They'd take back. And it would not be good because you've already lost a point. So let's go back. What is the winning move here? If you said knight to d3, you were absolutely right. The pawn cannot take because it's smothered, it's pinned. So quite a game, quite a move. Now, let me show you another game I played, or at least it's very close to a game I played. This game, I was playing the black pieces, and I was right at about this position, and it was white's move. Now, I was looking at the board, looking at my opponent, saying, come on, make the move. I was like, just please, please make the move. And then he made the move, and oh, I was so happy after he did that. And here's the move. So he goes ahead, and he plays pawn f3. Now, that looks like a logical move, because if the knight moves, rook takes the queen. But you can get a very nice move here with your queen as black. Pause the video if you can find it. Black move. All right. If you said queen c5 check, you are correct. This will lead into a grand Smothers mate. Now, if the queen blocks, you take that queen. If the rook blocks, you take that rook. If the king moves over, they allow you to get checkmate before the Smothers mate. What is the checkmate move now? Pause the video if you need to. All right, if you said queen to f2, you were correct. All right, so let's say that your opponent's a little better and they move the king over. All right, this is where it gets pretty awesome. What's your best move here? And this will lead to a Smothers Mate. Pause the video if you need to. All right, if you said knight f2, you are correct. Now, the king has to move here. A lot of people might say, oh, take the queen. And you'd be winning if you take the queen. But you can get a Smothers Mate here. This is a Smothers mating pattern. Can you find a better move than taking the queen? Pause the video if you need to. All right, if you said knight to h3, you're correct. This is a discovery check because you discovered check, and then it's also a double check. The queen and the knight checking the king. If they play back here, you get that same checkmate. If they instead go to h1, I love this next move. Let's see if you can find the next move for black. I know you can. But if you can't, try to learn from the answer. Pause that video if you need to. If you said knight f2, check again, no, you're just doing the same thing. You want to do something different, and that's queen to g1 check. Very awesome. The king can't take because he'd be in check. If the rook takes, that's the only move. Then you get that fork again, but this time it's a Smothers Mate. And if you get that kind of position, you'll be pretty happy in your games. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will be back with number 15 on our list. I got some great mates coming up. We'll see you next time.